I gotta tell you something, Wyatt. I think you might agree with me on this. Memorial Day weekend 2022 success. I put it out on Twitter. Monaco, I mean, I watched a little bit of it before I switched over to Indy 500 coverage, the pre-race deal. For what it was good. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched from the start all the way till about 20 minutes to go in the race. It was all right for what it was. Indy, spectacular. Honestly spectacular. And I felt like that race would have been really important, and it was important in multiple historic scenarios. Obviously with Jimmy Johnson, his first Indy 500, and if he won that would have been huge. And Helio Castroneves, if he won his 5th Indy 500, that would have been huge. But neither happened. It was Marcus Ericsson that won. He joins another Swede as a winner in the Indy 500. But then Coke 600. That was a breath of fresh air for racing fans all around the world, and any NASCAR fan that has really dreaded the racing from the Coke 600. Honestly, that was great. Minus the tire failures and minus the horrendous wrecks. For example, Chris Buescher flipping in the front straightaway.
We'll get to that.
That one, other than that, the racing that we saw, that was awesome.
Was really... I can agree, and I think I speak for other people who were at the live reaction. This is probably one of the best Coca-Cola 600s we've had in a long time. I know Josh mentioned like 2013, and I just thought of something pretty interesting on that. He said that's the best racing since 2013. 2013 was the debut for the Gen 6.
Yes.
So, that being the debut in the spot, it was really good. And, of course, the other years was not the best in the world. But now we got the next gen. The racing was all in all spectacular, almost every single lap. It's actually, because of the 2 overtimes, it is now officially the longest Coca-Cola 600 ever, from going 615.9 miles?
It was
or
19, 619.
19.5. I got the 2 numbers mixed up. But still, it's still the longest Coca-Cola 600. And what a hell of a finish.
It was something. I mean, 4 wide for the win. I mean, that was the first overtime, and then that last restart. I gotta say, that's probably one of the cleanest things I've ever seen. That was spectacular racing all the way to the end. Hamlin wins the Coke 600, gets his 2nd win of the year, and hey, he did it in dramatic fashion.
Because the way Hamlin's been seasoned this year, I would be iffy about earning that one, but I think he did earn that win.
That one was
mainly because all the heavy hitters got taken out.
Oh gosh, yes. And
so many heavy hitters.
A lot of them. Like, you can't even script how many heavy hitters have gone out from this one. Like, Larson, we thought was going to be out of it after he had like a crap ton of penalties.
Larson had the worst race I have seen in a while, and he still get back with a top 10.
He still did it, man. I mean, he persevered. He came back. I mean, hey, you talk about like a lot of the smaller teams having a lot of big hits in this race. Some of the smaller teams really benefited from this. Like, hold on. If I go look at the results here.
See if I can pull that up real quick. Here we go. And we could go through the top. I go through top 10 if you want.
Go for it.
All right. So we'll start with the regular top 10. We'll get on down. We got Denny Hamlin, obviously. Toyotas were on the ball this week. Let's just say Toyota was on the ball. Tough break for 2311. Another incident, nothing of their fault. We've mentioned this before. Mentioned this at Darlington. Before Kurt Busch got the win. 2311 is not is not doing terrible. They're just having bad luck, and this is another week they had bad luck.
Yeah.
But all the Joe Gibbs guys finished top 12. Well, let's start off with the top 2 Joe Gibbs. We got Denny Hamlin, the winner. Kyle Busch second. Kevin Harvick got third out of all that. And talking about teammates, his teammate Chase Briscoe coming back after almost spinning out, wrecking his car with 2 to go before the first overtime, battling with Larson.
Yeah.
He came back top 5. Christopher Bell had a topsy-turvy race, came home 5th. Tyler Reddick, who was one of the dominants, came home 6th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. starting to become an underdog in the playoffs. He currently, I'm looking over there, he currently sits 20th, not 20th. What is this? It's not 20th. I think it is 20th, actually. No, it's not 20th. One second, real quick.
Well, there he goes. He do be running off. He's looking at his. What was that?
My foot. 24th. 24th in the points, and he's closing up on Bubba Wallace. He keeps having good runs. He could end up getting in that top 20.
Oh, yeah.
Also had a good run that's in that area with Stenhouse is Michael McDowell, 8th place. Kyle Larson, who we mentioned, had a hell of a race. Was terrible second half. Was terrible the first half. Had so many penalties. Was on fire at one point.
And he persevered. And if that race had gone green the rest of the way, he would have won that. He would have won it.
100%.
Yeah. Still, comes home 9th.
Yeah. And his teammate Alex Bowman, who's been quiet the whole race, 10th.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the rookie's best finish yet. Harrison Burton came home 11th.
Yes.
He needed that. As I mentioned, the final, JGR card, Montrex Jr. got 12th. How about the GMS boys? 13th and 14th. Ty Dillon kept his Ty Dillon had not had an issue all race. Like he was barely there. No issues. No pit road penalties. And he came home a top 15. That's really good for Ty Dillon.
Yeah.
That's a good day. His teammate Eric Jones came 14th, I'm sorry. Ross Chastain, who was another dominant car, could have won it. I think he really should have. I think it should have been like between the Trackhouse guys, between Ross and Suarez. That wasn't a great.
They had this race in the bag had nothing happened to them. Honestly,
they
could have finished 1-2.
Another good day for another rookie. Todd Gillen got a top 20. He got 16th. Eric Almirola got 17th. Here's where it gets good. We mentioned the smaller teams have a good run. Cody Ware, 18th.
Yeah. BJ McLeod, 19th.
How did that happen?
See,
because like a whole crap load of guys DNF.
And a lot of guys that like you said, the heavy hitters, they were pretty much gone, eliminated throughout the.
And we're about to mention those heavy hitters.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, it's great to see these smaller teams like Cody Ware, BJ McLeod, Kaz Gralla of all people for the money team finishing 23rd. That has to be their best finish yet.
Yes, it is. And we'll get back to Kaz Gralla here in a minute. Now, to finish up top 20, we got Laganas in 20th. He wrecked down that final overtime caution. Also took out Cole Custer, who made a surprising run. Austin Dillon, who had the fresh tires at the end, could have probably made this finish epic. Could have stolen the win.
Mm-hmm.
Kaz Gralla, you mentioned it, 23rd. Great great finish for that team. Noah Gregson had throttle issues. Daniel Suarez got loose out of 4, could have saved it, got hit by Todd Gilliland, and then hit the next guy, went down, Chris Buescher, and terrible crash for Buescher. Terrible.
Yeah. Really,
another. I know it's Roush Fenway Keselowski racing, but another Roush Fenway car flipped over the last 2 years.
Yep. It's sad, but it's true.
I don't think I've ever seen a flip at Charlotte since I've heard about that in the Truck Series, and I think it's 17.
Yeah, Timothy Peters at Texas.
Oh, it was Texas. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wrong track. But I thought it was Charlotte. Oh well.
No.
But yeah, still pretty. Justin Haley had engine issues. I don't think he just had a blown engine at one point. I don't remember what part, but here's the guy who caused the big one. That's something you don't hear often. The big one at Charlotte.
You never hear that anywhere else.
There was a bunch of these drivers that still continued were in that wreck, but the ones who got taken out of it was Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, Kurt Busch, Bubba Wallace. I forgot to mention Bubba Wallace, who did good, but he could not meet minimum speed, so he was parked.
Yeah.
Then William Byron was involved in that too, another heavy hitter. Byron, Kurt Busch, and Blaney were definitely heavy hitters for this race. And so was Chase. I didn't get to see what happened to Chase Elliott.
Yeah.
I actually didn't see the big one either, but
yeah. So what ended up happening with Elliott was just, I think what happened was when he spun off a 4, and I think he blew a tire, something jacked up the right rear toe in. So that's what screwed him over.
Yeah. And then your favorite rookie, Austin Cindric, had an accident. I guess he lost. Did he lose a tire?
Tire lost it.
Yeah,
Everybody's been losing it coming out of turn 4.
Well, he didn't lose out of 4. It's just like going into 3, blew a tire. And then Corey LaJoie lost it in 2, and then he just both Spire cars had a terrible day. And then Ryan Preece, who ironically on what was that lap? What lap was that?
I think that was lap 3.
Was it lap 3? When there's the three guys these guys are out of the race, but Chris Buescher, Noah Gragson, Ryan Preece all spun out because they lost it out of 3. Actually, out of 1. Actually, it was a front stretch, and literally both Buescher and Preece were like side by side, spinning out. Like they were right next to each other, spinning out. It was funny.
Yeah, it was synchronized spinning at its finest right there.
But yeah, that is the rundown for that race. And there was a lot of stuff you could say about that race. It was a really good race all in all. The next gens were perfect in that race.
What really added on with the event was, first of all, the asphalt on the track. That's 16-year-old asphalt. And then when you throw in the next-gen car, you really start to see the parity amongst the setups, and you start to see some of that old-school racing where anybody can go pretty much anywhere on the track. So for what it was, that was good stuff.
It was probably one of the. We were all on the edge of our seats every single lap.
Yeah.
That's how good that race was.
It was that good. Unfortunately, as far as the live stream is concerned, the thing didn't render properly. So now it's 11 minutes and 55 seconds flat. It really should be 12 and a half hours and some odd seconds. But yet it's not that. It trimmed out the last 40 minutes or so. Or however odd, something. Oh, well,
I
it's
know we mainly focus. I know we mainly focus on the Cup Series, but I want to talk about the Xfinity and Truck Series for a little bit, especially the Xfinity Series. Hats off to Josh Berry getting a second win and getting believe you won't. I don't think you'll believe me if I say this. Giving Junior Motorsports their first ever win at Charlotte.
interesting. Never knew that they never won there.
I never knew that either. And then they mentioned that Josh Berry became the first junior. He's still new. This is his in first full time year in the Xfinity Series, and he's given he has two wins right now, Dover and now Charlotte, and this is Junior Motorsports' first ever win at Charlotte.
That's awesome.
This guy is going to be a championship threat. I promise that. Josh Berry is an underdog championship 4 pick in my opinion. I
Yeah,
think Josh. I'm glad that he was the person they chose to put in that 8, and he is proving us that he deserved there since last year when he got his first win at Martinsville, and then followed it up when he was subbing for Michael Annett in the one car, won at Vegas, and now he's won 4th career win. He's won Dover and now Charlotte. He is becoming really good.
yeah. He's mastered his craft, man. He really has.
You got Sam Mayer, another name I've mentioned before, who is definitely could be a playoff threat. Noah Gregson is 4th, and then their other teammate Allgaier is 7th.
Oh yeah.
So that was really good all around. And then the Heartbreak Truck Series.
Oh
The
yes.
Heartbreak.
Yes.
So Ross Chastain got the win. The newest Cup Leech got the win. Which honestly, this one he didn't even pull away from it. He was
No.
barely he competed, but you wouldn't even consider him a leech this race. It wasn't even his fault.
Yeah. He never even dominated. I don't. Yeah, he never dominated. Only led 4 laps at the whole thing.
Yeah, and I say heartbreak, and I say it's because Carson Hocevar was leading the final laps coming to the I think it was coming to the white maybe.
I think so.
And someone crashed. I do not remember who. I think it was Dean Thompson.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I can't remember. Maybe it was Jesse Little. I don't remember. But someone crashed and caused a caution. It was him, Priest, Ross Chastain, and I forget the other person.
I don't know. I honestly
But
don't.
we were coming out turn 2. I think Hocevar may have gotten Priest into the wall a bit, but that's just like coming to a green white checkered. That's just all on the line. He's going for his first win.
Yeah.
And then he overdrove it into 3, got loose out 4,
Yeah.
and put him and Priest in the wall.
Yeah. Which that honestly sucked. That really did.
The most heartbreaking deal. In this, it's a debate on which heartbreak is worse. Tyler Reddick's in the Cup Series or Carson Hocevar in the Truck Series.
Yeah.
That's you could debate either one, but it sucks.
It really does suck.
Hocevar is a driver who's a sleeper driver that is definitely going to make the playoffs, but he's a sleeper driver to make it past the round of 8.
Well, I'll say this: with the way that Carson's been running, I mean, of all the really, he dominated this race. He's the only driver. He's led the most laps, 57 laps, out of the 143 total that were run. He very well could have, would have, should have won the race. I mean, had he not, I mean, overdriving it, yes, it is a mistake on his part, but at the same time, he owned up to it. But at the same time, it's his first win, but it's also at the end of the race. You got to go for what you can get. And as far as Ryan Preece is concerned, I can understand his frustration, but again,
I think he took that frustration a little too far. Because yes, I get you're upset, I get you're upset. That was a win. You did get wrecked out. None of your fault. But keep in mind, Hostevar owned up. That's one thing. He actually owned up to his mistake, and he was heartbroken.
Yeah.
And Priest was right to be angry, but you cannot just just don't be that stupid. Telling young kids don't be that stupid and do them. That's still hard racing though.
Right. That's all it is to it. At the end of the day, it was close to the end, and you got to go for what you can get, even if it means putting somebody on the wall.
It's not ideal,
but it's
if you led all those laps and you're going to get screwed out of a win, you have to do whatever to try to get that win.
Yeah.
And I don't blame Hostevar, but I think he did drive in a little too deep, and every single person was heartbroken. Even the commentators. Even Vince Welch, Michael Waltrip, and Kurt Busch, when they were all heartbroken for him. Because he needs a win.
Yeah.
And I hope it comes soon.
If he runs good at Gateway, he'll definitely win.
You want me to mention points before we get to some topics?
I think for now let's leave the points alone. So
all right.
As far as topics, I'm not 100% sure on what there is to talk about here.
There's one, and I would love to talk about this one.
Oh.
The leader. I'm mentioning this right now, and I said this previous before recorded. The current playoff points leader is Ross Chastain on the playoffs grid deal is Ross Chastain.
Yeah.
But the team that he's in just made, after we got done pre-recording, made it.
Uh-oh. I think his Wi-Fi is taking a piss. Oh no. Yeah, he's completely frozen. The listeners on Spotify won't see it, but if you go on the YouTube, you'll see it. He's just frozen. He's just completely frozen. But what Wyatt, I believe, was going to bring up.
There we go.
Yes.
Sorry about that. My internet just went for a crap for a little bit there, but anyways, what I was saying was, Trackhouse is the top of the is like the playoff grid, but his team owners for Trackhouse just made an announcement after we got done pre-recording the last episode. That next day, Trackhouse made an announcement saying they're doing Project 91.
The first guy that they're going to be bringing up, of all people, is Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi Räikkönen. And just a legendary F1 driver in his own right. Man, like, it doesn't get any better than that. First race for that 91 car is going to be a Watkins Glen. That's going to be the only one for this year. But there's going to be more races planned out for next year. And part of the target reasoning for Project 91 is to bring more international drivers to the road courses for the Cup Series. And that, I think that's a great thing. Because if you really take a look at some of the entry lists for like on the Cup side at like Watkins Glen and Sonoma, for instance. The last time that we had international like road course racers, I'd have to say was 2013 at Watkins Glen. So you've got drivers like Ron Fellows, Victor
I
Gonzalez
thought
Jr., for instance, just
I
to name a
thought
few.
Boris said did a Cup Series race later on, not past 13.
No, but that's the thing. He's not an international road course driver,
He's
though.
not. He's
No,
not international. I thought he was. My bad.
no, he's American.
Oh,
But yeah, like people like Ron Fellows and Victor Gonzalez. Ron Fellows is Canadian. Oh, here's another one. Owen Kelly. Owen Kelly's another guy that has raced in the Cup level since 2013.
I got one. I got one. You'll love this one. I'm going. He has a race in the Cup Series since the year after that.
Ambrose.
Ambrose.
That'd be a good selection. I mean, I don't know.
I would love to see that.
I don't know if he'd be up to it, but you never say never.
Marcus Ambrose is a guy that is left randomly, and just I haven't really heard much information about him. I know he was a really good driver. Richard Petty won both Watkins Glen races back to back in 11 and 12,
Yep.
and he was not a terrible driver. He was pretty good, and then he's a good road course guy.
For what he was great. Honestly, really great.
And now I think about it, you mentioned national drivers. He's just a driver I just now thought of.
Yeah.
That would be a perfect driver to add. And you mentioned all those names. And hell, I think Helio, a couple other drivers I can name that might try to do it. For some reason, I don't know if he's not from America or not, but when I think international, I kind of think like Indy, Formula One,
Yeah.
all that. I kind of think drivers like Helio Castroneves could be someone that could do that. Maybe Lewis Hamilton.
Maybe. I mean, he did a seat swap with Tony Stewart way back then, so I mean, I think he could do it.
It would surprise me if you see some drivers from other series come up and do this. And I think that's kind of Trackhouse's goal.
Mm-hmm.
And I applaud them. I applaud them.
This
is going to be really cool, and I'm actually looking forward to that.
That's honestly the best thing that Trackhouse can do. I mean, just to bring that international side back into the sport. Something that the sport has been really lacking on road courses recently, more particularly on the Cup side, to be more specific. They need this. They really need this.
And you think in the Cup Series, you barely had any road course aces. The only road course ace, there's only a few of them. And only one goes for one certain track, to be honest. But going off the list of, you can add some names if I'm forgetting some. But top of my head, the first two that pops up that are actual road course aces are Allmendinger and Cindric.
Yes. I mean,
and I'd say Chase Briscoe is more on the Indy Roval than any other one.
Anything. I think he's good on Rovals alone.
Yeah, he did win the Charlotte Roval, but I don't know about the Cup Series side of that one.
We'll see. We'll see this year. But I mean, as far as like road course aces that competed recently that I don't believe are international, Boris said, you mentioned it earlier, Joey Hand, who competed at Coda earlier this year, I think he's from the U.S., but I'm not gonna hardcore bank on it. Actually, I'm gonna look just to confirm that entry list.
To continue that, you might argue to say Larson because he's starting to do some getting good at road courses. Alex Bowman came out of nowhere.
Yeah, Bowman.
Yeah,
Bowman could be another one.
Suarez maybe. Trackhouse has been good all around. Ross Chastain might start being a good road course ace.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
road courses are more starting to be more wild cards than Talladega Daytona.
They really are nowadays. They honestly are. Because now with it's just this next gen car and the parity amongst the setups. I know I've said it a lot, but it is so true. These races are becoming more and more wild cards the more tracks that we go to with this car. Like it's ridiculously amazing.
And it kind of froze up a little bit there from my end.
Whoops.
Oh,
A little bit.
I can't even hear you. Hold on.
He's having a little bit of technical issues, but he'll get it fixed.
There we go.
There we go. See? Oh.
Sorry, sorry, my internet's being crap at the moment. I don't know why.
They just upgraded to a potato.
There we go. It's gonna work. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know what. My internet just goes crap at random times, but
Yeah, I mean that's what happens when half the time the internet turns into a potato.
yeah. But now going back on the Project 91 deal, and all these diff drivers come up. It's going to be even more because these guys have been racing a lot of road courses.
Yeah.
This would not surprise me either. I know he's a U.S. driver, but to see Jimmy Johnson come back for one race for the 91 for Trackhouse, which was bought by Chip Ganassi Racing and still technically kind of is,
Right.
if you think about it. And they're doing dominant, so it would be cool to see Jimmy Johnson back.
It would be nice.
It would be weird to see his number is now
91.
Yeah. I was trying to think of number clever wise for some reason. I thought his first number was 8 for some reason. But I don't know. It would be cool to see him back if they're at least for one race for Trackhouse. We mentioned in some road course aces, international and U.S. ones. Like I'd say, might put Helio. You've got Kimi Reich. I'm going to butcher his last name.
Raikkonen.
Going there for this week, the one and only race, and I like that. Going to test that to see. I will be honest. I don't think he's going to do all that great. But I think their goal is between a top 20 and a top 15.
I mean, you can't try to win the race in your first try. If you're lucky enough, sure, go for it. But for this case, since it is your first one,
that's the first race of the season.
If it's your first race, then just start small. Start with the small goals.
Yeah, that's something I can't. That's something I cannot wait to see.
Yeah. Well, all right. I guess that's really the only other topic that I think is actually that's big for the time being. So why don't we go ahead, talk about good old Gateway, and also Portland as well. We know what to expect with Gateway because it's one.
Technically, we only know that for the truck series.
Just for trucks, though.
We don't know for the Cup series.
See, it's Cup side, I believe. First time that they're going to Gateway in a long time, or for the first time ever.
No, it's first time ever. Cup series. There's some Cup drivers who's raced Gateway, but this is the Cup series first ever time going to Gateway.
It took 21 years. In Josh's words, it took 21 years to finally get Gateway on the Cup schedule. But we know
I mean,
what.
they said the same thing for Nashville, so.
Yeah, but still, we know what to expect with trucks. You know, good old hard racing. Cup is a little bit different. However, a good chunk of these guys have race Gateway. For instance, let's go with Chastain, who's won there. Austin
Chastain's
Cindric.
main.
Um,
How about
Hart-
I'm going to give you a couple winners of that race prior. Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, Cole Custer.
Here's another guy that has raced at Gateway, but only when the Xfinity Series raced there back in the early 2000s. Kevin Harvick. This I believe is
Kyle
the
Busch.
first. Yeah, this I would believe is Harvick's first time since since 2001 since he's raced there.
I actually looked back at that. I think he actually won in the Truck Series that race in 2010.
I think he did.
I actually looked back at that statistics not that long ago, and I think I saw that, and I thought that was pretty interesting because I was looking at previous truck winners, see if I could get an idea of who I think, and that's why I quickly listed drivers like Cole Custer, Christopher Bell. I forgot Justin Haley.
Yeah, Haley's another one.
Bunch of those drivers, and Kevin Harvick's one. But you mentioned drivers whose race there at least has somewhat notes. I think I'm actually going to go. I'm actually going to pull up the entry list so I can get like a. I'm going to pull up the entry list so I can have an idea of drivers I know on the top of my head. I don't know about Harrison Burton. Maybe Burton, but I'm not sure.
Well, Burton raced the full season in 2019, so yes, he would have raced there.
I don't think he did all that. Good. Well,
come to think of it,
I'm just going on this.
Well, come to think of it here,
and
as I look at the
going down the list, Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric, maybe Austin Dillon. I think at some point all these drivers had experience, but only a few has actually got the job done.
I was gonna say, as I look at this entry list,
probably either both Xfinity or trucks.
Because I was gonna say,
I cannot hear you.
No, you cannot. No, you can't.
There we go.
Yeah, he's having technical issues. But as I was gonna say, for the umpteenth time, as I look at this entry list, a vast majority of these drivers, probably with some exceptions, have raced a Gateway before. I don't know so much about, let's see, Logano. I don't know about Michael McDowell. I don't know about Kurt Busch though. I don't know about yeah, maybe. I don't know about Alex Bowman either, nor Cody Ware or Balicki, nor McLeod.
Well, we can't really say much about Cody Ware or Balicki.
You really can't, especially Cody Ware.
No offense. Yeah, no offense to those two. I think you can put Corey LaJoie in that category too. No somewhat disrespect for Corey LaJoie, and not Corey LaJoie. I'm sorry, Cody Ware.
Right.
But you look back at new teams. Yes, they're wild cards at some of these, but it's like you can't really. They're not going to run up. Sorry to say that.
They might. You never know, but we'll see. Gotta love the parody. Gotta love the parody.
I have no faith in Ware, Balicki, McLeod, or LaJoie on these. Suarez, on the other hand, I don't know if he raced it. Maybe.
Probably back in 16.
Maybe. But it's been a while. The most recent winner of these guys is his teammate, Ross Chastain. And that's the guy I think we can keep an eye out for. I know a couple other guys. Chase Briscoe. I know he didn't win, but he was running up there a lot. Justin Haley won. Justin Haley won one. Christopher Bell's won it. And I know Cole Custer's won it. I don't think he's going to. Well, he surprises at Charlotte, but
I mean, Gateway's
I
a
don't know.
different beast right now, so you never know. Then
And,
we,
sorry, go ahead.
I was also gonna say, let's get to Portland.
Hey, I was about to mention.
Nobody's raced Portland.
Yeah, nobody's
So,
raising Portland.
but this is the first time that NASCAR has gone there since 2001. But this is with the Xfinity Series, and I don't believe the Xfinity Series has ever gone to Portland. So pretty much every single driver here is going into that racetrack completely blind. So do you think that that's going to make for an interesting one?
It will be, and I'm looking at the list of drivers here, and I'm trying to think who would try to come out on top more than anyone else. Top of my list is 100% AJ Allmendinger.
Yeah. Really to
Allmendinger,
really to be
sorry, go
honest,
ahead.
Allmendinger is probably the best candidate. That's the only other
Maybe
one you can think of.
I got one more to maybe. I'm going to go on a limb on this one, actually. You can kind of say, and you can kind of say Andy Lally.
Yeah. I mean, he's driving for what is right now, I think in my personal opinion, a C team. So, I mean, you never know. You could get something happen, get something done. I mean,
Wait, go ahead.
but let's see. So let's see some of the road course ringers that I think are going to be here. Scott Heckert driving the 5. You even got obviously Allmendinger. Connor Mosack, I think, is an road course ringer too. He's driving the 18. Parker Chase is another one. Let's see. Patrick Emmerling. Uh, I don't think he's. Oh no, he's run. I think he's running full time. Anyways, Darren Dilly driving the 38. And then yeah, Mason Philippi in the 91. Spencer Pumpelly in the 108 or the '08 in this case. And that's really all the road course guys that I think are going to be taking part in this one. But
Now I'm trying to think back to Coda. I'm trying to think back and think who all ran up there. So I know Allmendinger won the race. I'm trying to think. It's like who all had a good. I'm actually going to go back and look at that finish. Not finish the.
oh gosh.
I passed it.
Yeah, and as I'm looking, I mean, when we make our picks here in a little bit, Trucks is obviously the only one that I think we're gonna have
Oh
not
yeah.
as many problems with.
And I don't really. I did a quick look. I didn't see Ross Chastain's name in there. Did you?
Um, actually, well, Ross drove the 92 at Coda.
Not Coda. Not Coda.
Oh,
I'm talking about the entry list
for Xfinity?
for trucks
Mm,
for Gateway.
no, he's not in
He
there.
was. He's not in the race.
No.
Okay, I wasn't sure. So okay, here's the finishing. Let me look at all the drivers. Well, okay, that's. So I'm looking back at the top 5 for Circuit of the Americas. Allmendinger ran out there. Austin Hill got second. He did win. Think he slowly is starting to become a road course guy. I don't know. Got Cole Custer. He's on that race. Noah Gregson got 4th. Sam Mayer got 5th.
Hmm.
Mike Snyder, Brett Moffitt, Jay Buford had his best finish. Miguel Bluto's not in the race, but Sheldon, Ryan, Parker. I don't know. This one's kind of a toss up.
Yeah, Portland, I think, is probably going to be the only other track that will be a toss-up on the Xfinity schedule, so we'll just have to... I guess when it comes to picks, we're just going to go into this one blind.
Yeah. And at least we have an entry list to help us out, too. That's a good thing.
Thank the Lord for that. But alrighty, I think we're at that point. So it is time to go ahead and make our predictions. For those that are brand new to this show, here's how we do them. Back when we used to do them on what was formerly the Pit Stop Show, we give you the driver who we think is going to win. That's pretty simple, pretty easy. Driver stay away from is the guy that hasn't really been doing all that well. Dark horse is the exact opposite. And like I said, trucks I think is the one we're going to have the least amount of issues with. Xfinity and Cup, a little bit of a different story, but should make for some really bold picks when it comes to both of them. So I guess in this case, Wyatt, you're up first.
My order of well, not the order of how I do my predictions, but the prediction series order might be different for me this time because I'm gonna go easiest to hardest. That one. So in my opinion, so I'm just gonna go trucks, Cup, then Xfinity because we at least we know trucks is good. Xfinity's going to be the hardest one to go since we're going blind with nothing.
Yeah.
And the Cup Series, we at least have some drivers who's raced it, so we won't be as blind.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I'm behind that. So starting off with the dark horse. You know what? I'm going bold. She had her best career finish here a year ago. I'm going to go Haley Deegan.
Good choice.
So she could get a rebound race after Charlotte, which she did so poorly. One of her worst races, in my opinion.
And
my driver still... Go ahead.
I was going to say, that's not her fault.
It's not her fault. I hate to say this. My driver stay away from Matt DiBenedetto. The reason behind it is like it's the unknown of like there is known, but Matt DiBenedetto, I don't remember ever hearing him race Gateway, nor be competitive at Gateway. So I don't think he'll do all that well.
Yeah.
He may prove me wrong. I hope he does, but I'm gonna go with him.
All right.
For my driver to win. There's only been a few drivers who's been competitive this year and races in the past. I think I'm gonna go. This one's kind of a toss-up between two, but I'm going with my gut. I'm going with John Hunter Nemechek.
That's actually, I'd say that's a really good one.
Nemechek's won this race in the past. I think he'll get it. All right. Now I'm going off the rails to the Cup Series. My dark horse. I'm gonna go with him. My Oki brother, Christopher Bell.
Good choice.
My driver to stay away from. We mentioned his name. I don't ever remember hearing him racing at Gateway. This is the time where 2311 just won't do the best. At least for this driver. I'm going to go Kurt Busch.
I was looking right at his name when you said that.
But my driver to win, this is a no-brainer. He's the most recent truck of all the regular guys. He's the most recent truck driver to win. Not just last week, but the last time he was in the truck race at Gateway.
Yeah.
Ross Chastain. I think that's a no-brainer.
Well, let's hope that's correct. Fingers crossed.
Now the main unknown. The Xfinity Series. This is the tough one. I think I'm just going to get this one out of the way. The winner, I think it's AJ. I think AJ's the winner.
No contest.
Dark horse, I think I'm going to go Noah Gragson. Noah Gregson's been on the ball. I think he'll do good. My stay away driver. I think I'm probably going to just go with him. I'm going to go Daniel Hemrick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang, brother.
All right.
Dang, brother. That is pretty interesting. Really interesting predictions.
Yeah.
But all right. I guess in this case it is my turn. So here we go for this one. Unlike Wyatt, I think I'm just going to go with series order from bottom to top. My driver to win for the Truck Series at Gateway, I'd say it's going to be interesting. Probably a no-brainer in this one, John Hunter Nemechek. Nemechek's the guy that I think is going to get it done for another year. Driver to stay away from, on the other hand, I think I'm going to go for Chase Purdy. I really don't hear a lot about him. In these races. I mean, there are races where I think he's done well, but the numbers really don't back him up. So I think he'll be a guy to stay away from. Dark horse, I like the direction that you took, but I'm gonna go a different direction. Like I said, he's gonna win. Carson Hocevar.
I was thinking Hocevar is that list too, but he wasn't the other guy I was thinking. I was thinking about putting him, but I just didn't think Hocevar would have won, but I think he would have been a good dark horse. So I was thinking about it.
He could have. I mean, he very well could have been. I mean, if Nemechek doesn't win, I'm hoping Hocevar does. Xfinity.
Sorry to mention this, but you can't count out Zane Smith either. He's been on the ball lately.
No, you can't.
He was another guy I was thinking about for the win. But anyways, continue.
No contest for Portland. Winner, Allmendinger. No contest. Driver to stay away from. I'm gonna have to say Sheldon Creed for this one. Because like I said, he's a good, like I said once, he's a good driver. But just unfortunately, like, Lady Luck really hasn't shown him the good hand at all. Like, he'll run good, but something will happen to him where he'll just get completely screwed over. And it's not his fault. It's not his fault. I just unfortunately don't think he's going to do all that well at Portland. Dark horse, on the other hand, I'm going to say on the contrary, Sam Mayer is going to be my dark horse. And now for the Cup Series at Gateway. Driver to win. I think this one is also no contest. Ross Chastain is going to be the guy to win. Driver to stay away from. Probably going to have to go for... Ooh. Well, this is tough, but because, you know, you got that parity amongst the setups. Driver to stay away from, I think I'm going to go for probably... Screw it. I think I'll probably just go with Michael McDowell.
Oh, okay.
And then dark horse, I think I might go for Daniel Suarez.
I knew you were going to say that.
Suarez is going to be my dark horse for this one. So
I had a gut feeling.
The Trackhouse boys are going to do well. They're going to be in good hands.
I was literally, when you were thinking of, I'm like, my head just went straight to Suarez, and then you said, I'm like, I called that. I literally called that.
Right. Well, all right. I'm pretty sure there's nothing else that we really do need to bring up. So in this case, any final thoughts before we get the Gateway/Portland weekend underway?
Not really, because we have only a few races left in the Fox era of the regular season. Because we actually just revealed who's on the booth for the final two races.
Yeah, Mikey and also Tony.
Michael Waltrip will be in the booth for the Cup Series. This will be interesting. And he knows gate. I think he's called some gateway races more than anyone else. So he's a pretty good pick. And then Tony started off. Tony will end it.
Yeah. I think he's been in the booth more than anybody else that they've picked.
Yes, he has. He's been in the booth for the Clash, the Duels, the 500, Coda, and now Sonoma.
Yeah. It's really impressive. It's really impressive. But all right, I guess in this case, yes, it's a meeting adjourned here for this third episode of the Gamers Talk NASCAR podcast. One thank you guys a lot for watching. If you like this, be sure to give it a like. And if you haven't considered subscribing yet, be sure to subscribe in order to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. Also, follow this podcast to keep up with this. The upcoming episodes in the future. That pretty much does for us. On behalf of Wyatt Walker over here, I'm Elijah Leonard signing out. We'll see you in the next one.